And then my father comes to visit me to my little flat. I left, all the gold to something small, but, I had my piano, I had my own space, and it was better. I play him that beautiful demo that I never released it. And it's one of my best things, but it's about pain. It's called Pain. It was so sad, but the person that recorded, I didn't play the piano, but it was amazing. So my father read the paper, and then he gave me the two poison sentences. Why do you want to be a singer? You cannot sing like Celine Dion. Numero uno. The second one is much worse. Why do you want to sing? Your voice will be stuck while you are performing. How wonderful. That was his, and believe me, the best artists in the world, if they will hear that demo, they will say, wow, who is that? But it's so intimate that I never released it yet. So the two things, this is how I turned the mic.
When was this?
26? 25, yeah? So two things happened. First of all, because of his first thing, you cannot sing like Celine Dion.
Welcome to Your Wordless Podcast, the space where we redefine success, self-worth, and transformation. I am Nierras, the soul-centered architect of transformation, helping you unlock your highest potential and build a legacy beyond limits. Now, whether it is self-mastery, career breakthroughs, or wealth creation, this is where change begins. Now let's dive in. Take us back to what was it like growing up as a Tali, Koren?
Oh, that's an unexpected question, but a good one. Because growing as Tali Koren, first of all, I didn't grow as Tali Koren. My original name was Koren Tal. That's how I born to the world. And when I was 15, without any advice, I don't know how on earth I did it, I changed my name to Koren because I was a model. I used to really, I was successful as a model in my small town. And it sounded better on the stage, Tali Koren or Tali Koren, as they said, and then Koren Tal. The family was not happy. But what is beautiful about it, that so many years after, the meaning of the name Koren means shining, illuminating. And somehow I took it on me, always to shine, like you said in the introduction, even in hard situation, always to find the good at things. So this was my life. I've chosen quite a difficult journey, because when you don't just follow the mainstream like normal people, when you're just even a little bit out of the box, you will have challenges.
Judgments.
Always was there for me to keep the honesty, to be able to look at the mirror and say, yes, this is me. I'm not compromising. And that is a big thing. This is something I can say that many of the biggest artists like Van Gogh, that I'm so connected to him on a soul level, he never sold any painting, and he didn't paint in a normal way, but no one would have changed the way he did his strokes, paint his strokes. So this is the strokes of my life are very much all the time related to what is inside here. So that's how it wasn't an easy journey.
Can you share with us these difficulties that you face? Because my podcast talks a lot about self worth. And oftentimes, when we are faced with big challenges, especially when we're going against the world, and especially people that we love very, very, very much, like our family members and our friends, and we're saying that we need to, our heart is saying we need to go take on this path, but the world is saying take on the other, there will be pushback. So, what was it like for you? What's the thing that you remember most?
I will share with you two quick stories that all relate to families because, in a
Okay,
way, our childhood is what makes us, but it's not an
that's right.
excuse not to make it. Like so many people work from 9 to 5 job, which I don't have any objection, but just to fulfill that certainty, because to be an artist or to be with a vision, it's
I love that.
always
I love that.
uncertainty, but that's the beauty of life. That's the real beauty. So two very little stories. So at the age of 7, 8, when I was in a singing competition and I was very good, but it was a charity and I was not receiving a lot of points because the judges said that I tried to copy another singer. And my mother, instead of saying, okay, you were Tali amazing. Yes, you were copying that singer. Keep going. And then we'll go to another competition and another competition. She behaved in such an hysteric way, left the charity, caused me to be in a trauma. So I left singing. I haven't sang from the age of 8 till almost 25 because of that, the trauma. So this is something that I remember, and I'm saying to parents that are listening here. Yes, we all want our children to be stars, to be number one, to so many best of the best singers and musicians and sport people. It didn't happen straight away. So encourage your child, your boyfriend, whatever, to keep going, to become better. So that was one. But the other one is much more powerful. So then I'm finally making the dream of going to this singing teacher, living the golden cage, composing my second song, which was beautiful. And then my father comes to visit me from to my little flat. I left, all the gold to something small, but I had my piano, I had my own space, and it was better. I play him that beautiful demo that I never released it. And it's one of my best things, but it's about pain. It's called Pain. It was so sad, but the person that recorded, I didn't play the piano, but it was amazing. So my father read the paper and then he gave me the two poison sentences. Why do you want to be a singer? You cannot sing like Celine Dion. Numero uno. The second one is much worse. Why do you want to sing? Your voice will be stuck while you are performing. How wonderful. That was his, and believe me, the best artists in the world, if they will hear that demo, they will say, wow, who is that? But it's so intimate that I never released it yet. So the two things, this is how I turned the mic.
When was this? When was this?
26, 25, 25, yeah? So two things happen. First of all, because of his first thing, you cannot sing like Celine Dion.
Are you stuck in a job that you don't love, feeling like you're meant for more? It is not in your head, it is in your soul. I am Nierras and I help high achievers like you break free from burnout, rewire self-doubt, and build a life aligned with purpose through coaching, hypnotherapy, and soul activation. Because let's face it, real wealth isn't just about money, it is about a aligned and happy heart, mind, and soul. Now, remember, you are worthy and you are enough. Let's transform your life together. Visit www.thenierrasholisticlifestyle.com to begin?
I kept going to so many singing teachers, also here in the UK, same as singing teacher that Coldplay go, the Dido, that all of them has the same breathy voice. So when you have that kind of voice, even Bono of U2. So when I hear good singers, all these top people, all what I listen is to their highs, right? How do they sing high? Because of that blessing of my father. But in a way, this curse was a blessing because I was keep going, developing my high voice to extend that if you hear my voice, I'm here calling you, my singer now, when I go to this falset, I haven't worn my voice, so I'm not going to do it, but I invite her.
I was gonna ask you, can you give us a short?
It's my strongest, so I can sing so high and I can sing very low, and singing teacher are always so impressed that I can sing 3.5 octaves. Saying that, Freddie Mercury of Queen was only one, because in the famous concert of Live Aid, that was his last concert, I was watching all of them. George Michael, all the best of the best of the best. Only Freddie Mercury nailed it, belted. Belted, that means sang high but with power. So do you understand there is, yeah, if you sing opera, I can sing opera very high, but there is difference between being a pop singer and sing powerful than being opera singer or when you go to the West End. So in a way, it gave me much more knowledge about voice, and I managed to belt it, but I sound like ugly bird. Although in calling you, I have there a belt. I would never being able to do it because I would stay in the comfort zone with that low voice. But that the second thing that is said, don't let your voice, don't go to sing, your voice will be stuck. So when I perform at the Royal Albert Hall, a dream of
Oh.
every
Yeah.
right.
Right.
My late husband, I was married. He was hypnotherapist, life coach. So yeah,
Oh my God, that's me.
I
Yes, I am a
saw
hypnotherapist
you.
and a life coach as well. Wow, what a coincidence! No, I don't think it's a coincidence. It
No,
is a
but
sign
not
from
a
the universe.
coincidence.
Exactly.
Beautiful thing is that he knew about it, and I wanted my parents to come and see me at the Royal Albert Hall. My ego won, the child in me, everything. He said, if your father is coming, I'm not coming. Why? Because he knew that the subconscious, with
Yeah.
that negative command, something will happen. My father will create a drama. Let's say he will fall down. Always he created dramas that something will happen. Because it did happen when my father came to my first concert. My voice was stuck in my small town. But even then, I always chose light, always chose to, so I couldn't sing. So I told the audience the story that I told you now. And I told my band we're changing the song. I could speak, but not sing. And I had a song called You Have to Kill the Fear Before the Fear Kills You. So I was like, I was singing without it, but then the chords were okay, all came. So this is a journey. This is a journey that we go through. This is only 2 stories, much worse than that. But these are ones that I like to share to inspire people to, yeah, to fulfill their dreams.
I just want to commend you for being so honest and transparent and vulnerable in sharing your story because one, you know that you love something, singing, painting, drawing, speaking. But if one person that you look up to the most, often it's your parents, and they something that's really heartbreaking. It's like a knife is stabbed to your heart, and you will never ever step into the stage again. And I love when you said your husband that has passed, right? Was a hypnotherapist, and I too had my journey isn't it's similar, but in the sense that I was from a 9 to 5 job, and my pivotal moment was my divorce, and I turned into subconscious reprogramming because I thought I wasn't enough. And that is why I name my podcast You're Worthless.
Wow.
But I that's and the whole premise of it is you're actually not worthless. It is the opposite of that. Your soul is not worthless. So thank you for that, Tally.
Beautiful, beautiful. I'm very, very happy for you. Also, my late husband was from 9 to 5 job, and he
Then you
made
switch to
the change, became a top hypnotherapist in UK, really famous footballers. But I still think he didn't feel that he was worth enough. He was good as a
oh
therapist. So this is something we always need to be careful of. It's much more easy to
yes,
give advice to people, to love other
bless his
people,
soul.
than
Yeah,
do it for ourselves. So this is a big one.
it is, and it every guest that comes on my show, it is a reminder to me that I'm on, besides hypnotherapy, I do podcasting because I know I love connecting with people, and hearing their stories just lights me up. So thank you for that, Sally.
Oh, lovely.
So you mentioned about your song Calling for You, right? And
You.
can
Just
you
calling.
can you calling you for you, right? It was that. And what is this miracle that happened after writing it? Hi, I'm Nierras, your host of the Your Worthless podcast. Now, if these real raw stories hit home, don't wait. Please follow, like, and subscribe my Spotify and YouTube. For bite-sized inspirational reels, follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn. Don't wait. Your transformation starts today. Thank you, and bye for now.
Yes. So I wrote the song originally in Hebrew. Translating a song to other language is always challenging because it's completely different, sound of the syllables. So I struggle, but the chorus, I'm calling you now, I'm alone. I'm calling you my angel, make me strong. That was easy, the chorus. And we all believe, you and me, that because we have the tools of coaching, hypnotherapy, understand about the soul, the journey, we have tools. We are very fortunate that we have chosen a path that we don't just say, okay, no to life, to new opportunity, and feel victims. No, the opposite. But we all break sometime. And what I've learned that it's okay to break and to be fragile and vulnerable. Like in calling you with a very high voice of an angel, I'm saying, can you hear my voice? So I wrote, it took me a long time to translate it, and finally I made it. I wrote the words myself, but the music is co-written with Phil Koren. He worked with Tears for Fears, and he's like the person that co-produced with me everything. Few weeks after I met my husband. I met my husband few weeks after. He was my hypnotherapy for 3 sessions, and we decided to get married after three
Oh,
meetings. Yes.
is that right?
That's it.
That's it. Wow. Okay.
Wait.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
We're
I'm gonna let you
doing a
finish.
remix of that song. The song
Mm-hmm.
is really one of the favorite. As a singer-songwriter, I do have different styles, but my favorite is Calling You, and let's say it's the most represent me as a singer-songwriter. But when it was released in the UK, it didn't make headlines like my song Beauty of the Duty or Hallelujah. It didn't. The video did very well, and now I'm releasing it as a remix because the last year I've been doing remixes, which brought me to the club chart, near Lady Gaga, Rihanna. which is wonderful to be near those big names with no budget. So now it's a remix and it's so powerful. The drums obviously is dance house music. So I'm saying, right, my calling you is much louder now. I'm praying to find the one now, my new soulmate now. I'm waiting for the miracle. I'm ready for the miracle.
And you're hearing it live here on my show. Wow.
Yes, yes, yes.
So we have to coincide this on the day of your release. We have to. We have to.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. It's going to be an amazing release. It's a song that there is a line there that I'm saying that face to face, just one more time, no more faulty signs. Oh gosh, I forgot the words of my song. Will I ever see the promised land? I've been waiting. No more faulty signs. My soul can't take it anymore. So these faulty signs or the promised land, again, this is to each one of us. It can be the promised land, the love of our life. It can be the career of our life. Many people worked and worked and worked, like Van Gogh, like William Blake. There are many people that actually did not see the promised land, like Moses in the Bible. He never saw the promised land. I wrote the song while I was studying theology. I have a BA in theology. So that's why the inspiration was. So he never saw the promised land. But look what happened with the promised land, you know.
Yes.
So, yeah, I'm very excited for that.
Okay, I know we talk about the beautiful part, but in the introduction I said about the unhappy marriage. So what happened in that earlier marriage that made you want to go and fulfill your childhood dreams?
Yeah, so when I was married to Moses was his name, Moshe. It was Moses.
Whoa, what a oh my god, this is like the stars are
Yeah.
aligning for us, I think, today.
Yeah, definitely. So he was a multimillionaire. I was finishing a to become a model. Little that I knew that I have all this treasure inside me and talent for music, composing, producing, editing, everything that you see of me. It's my work. But I had a lot of money, so I went to this singing teacher. But he was really not supporting the fact that I will become a singer-songwriter. And he he brought me to a dinner with the person that write the jingles to his hotels to speak about me, to help me, because I was at the early stage as a singer-songwriter. So we went
To convince you basically not to become a singer.
Yeah. So we went for a dinner with his wife,
Mm-hmm.
four of us. No one spoke about my career at all or my dream. So
Mm-hmm.
he wanted to control me through that. So then I told him, I don't know where I had the confidence to say to him, listen, two people that want to build the Empire State Building cannot live in the same house. And this is before being here, before knowing that, I'll be at the house of the Albert Hall. And for me, I'm still very little of where my fulfillment is going. I'm still have a long way to the fulfillment of my soul. So that's it. It was unnegotiable. I just left. I didn't want to sue him for the money, which would have brought a lot of negativity. I left all the millions.
Mm.
I used to hide my jewelries while I work with musicians, and then I had to sell them.
Okay, what would be the key thing for people to succeed in the music industry? I guess I would rephrase this as I think I had a few guests come on to my show, and they were also singer-songwriters, and they said about 6,000 music are being uploaded every day. Same thing as podcasting. There are like 4 million podcasts out there, right? So, what is that key thing for you, for you can give an advice like to succeed in this industry?
I definitely would love to give advice, especially that again, for me, although I have success behind me, I'm still not, where my potential is. But I know now because I'm into coaching and healing and all those things. I understand what I could have done different, and I like to share it with your listeners. So I think it's very important to know what is your direction. Is it that you just have a great voice and you love to sing covers? And even if you have a good voice and love to sing covers, what covers? Rock and roll or jazz or musicals? So the direction, the box that I refused to be in all those years is probably happened so I can share it with other people to save them years of not going anywhere. So is really to know what is your direction. And if you have a good voice, wonderful. Is it your voice? Is that kind of voice, the belting voice like Celine Dion? Then, of course, you go and do songs like that. But if you have more low voice and you just choose the genre, this is a world with books on the shelf. There is this books and you have to follow. If you are talented and can write music as well, you need to know what genre you're writing because just drums, now that I'm doing a remix, it's different than they're calling you. So it's a different audience and I confuse the algorithm. But I can do it. I can do it, because I'm already established. But if you're beginning, you need to decide which genre. Is it remixes? Is it indie? Do you like just to play on piano? But be yourself. Be authentic.
I love that.
That's the key for everything. I knew that I have something and I just didn't compromise. Every producer or engineer that I work with, I drive them crazy until I get what I want. And it was beautiful. I was very fortunate to have at the beginning of my career an older man that used to be the manager of Frank Sinatra and Tony Bennett that fall in love with my voice. And he said, always watch it when you are in the studio mixing that they don't cover your voice because the drums cover the voice. And if you don't have that loud belting voice, you need to watch it. You need to watch it. So, but the most important, be your authentic self and be honest with yourself. Are you good enough? Because my late husband that became hypnotherapist w- wrote an album when he was 18. That's why he fell in love with me because music was his life. He wrote an album that called No Return, which was interesting, never returned.
Oh.
At the time that he released it, the Beatles, David Bowie, Mercury, all of them were up and coming artists. He knew he's not good enough. So you need to know, am I really good enough? Do I have something special? And if you don't, but you love singing, go to choirs, do karaoke, volunteer in hospitals. So there is different ways that you can express your talent, but you need to be honest with yourself. Do you have something unique to give to the world and not just copy Adele, copy this, copy that? Yeah, that's my advice.
Authentic and basically be yourself. That is being authentic.
Yeah.
I love that. What are the type of support that you have gotten so far And now, how important were they to you?
Support.
Mm-hmm.
That's again very good because you're a coach, you ask very good questions. So I think that I have chosen a journey that I thrive without a lot of support.
Oh,
Yeah. But
you like working independently.
but I'm changing the pattern because you have to have support. I do have very close friends that became friends that have my WhatsApp. They support me. I have a team of designer and photographer. All of those people support me. Didn't charge me a lot when I couldn't pay. I have a few good friends that support, but I cannot tell you that I had the support from my family that I have. And of course, my late husband supported me big time. So it was beautiful, that journey, and he experienced to see me on the Radio 2 playlist, the BBC, performing at the Royal Albert Hall. So for him, as someone that was a hypnotherapist and knew my subconscious, knew that I don't feel worthless enough, and that's why I need more and more and more and do. He suddenly saw me shining, and all what he asked me is to practice the piano and the voice. So what I've been doing different, and that's what you said in my introduction, every rejection I see as an opportunity to become better, but I don't see any more rejection. There is no rejections. It's just not the right person for you. I hire people to play guitar with me, do backing vocals, producer, and I reject all the time, people. Podcasts, I reject all the time. Why?
Oh,
Because,
thank you for saying yes to
yeah,
me.
but it's because we are not on the same wavelength. So there is no rejection. It's just not the right person. Also in dating, you know.
Oh, that's very, very true and very crucial.
Yeah.
Sometimes when we go for dates, we always think about what would the person think of me? What would they think of me? Instead of thinking from our perspective, do we feel good about being with them? Like what happens after this? What do we feel when we're with them? And oftentimes I too still am if I go on dates and you have a good time, but then after that you kind of critique yourself. Oh, was it, do they like me enough if I'm this way? But I think most importantly as well, if you like yourself, how do you feel? How do they make you feel when you're out with them?
So I
Mhm.
don't have this, as I'm a little bit older than you and more experience in certain way. I don't have it in my vocabulary, in my mind. I don't ask if they liked me.
I
I'm
don't ask
interested,
them, but as I ask myself.
like myself. Are they joining? Do I like them? If I like them,
Yes.
then, it will work. And my father told me, the same father that did all
The same father that
my
told
father
you
was
that.
so
Okay.
strong. He said to me, Tali, you're too strong, lady. You scared man. I said to him, no, not at all. The right man that has the real strength, I am the most fragile. And I can see
That's
how
right.
I change when I interact with men that are just machos, or how I can become much more feminine when I'm with the right
Yes.
person.
Mm-hmm.
There, I'm calling you. And
And so it is.
what?
Okay, Tally, can you give us a little sneak peek on your singing? At least. I know you haven't warmed your voice yet. Are you able to give us to sing us a bit, just I don't know, 10 seconds, 5 seconds?
Yes, so why don't I do a cappella
Mm-hmm.
calling you, which is the journey. 40 years I was walking on trust to find who I am, to rescue your name. My heart is yearning, yearning for you. I won't be satisfied until you'll be by my side. I'm calling you now. I'm calling you, my angel. Make me strong.
Oh, and there you have it. You put it out into the universe, and the right person will be attracted to it. That was wonderful, Tali.
It was very nice. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Okay, there is a sentence on your profile in the media kit that your voice caught the attention of the James Bond director. So tell us about that.
So I do voiceovers, and I did voiceovers for Solace and Qantas. So yeah, and I had only few lines, but when I was doing it, the director said, "What a voice!" Because I just said, "Where did the American go?" And it was in such good studios where you film and do pre-production to James Bond. So it was such a compliment. He really appreciated it. And then he asked me to do more improvisation, which is all in the film, in the background. And then when I went from the session, he was in the elevator with me and he complimented me, and I gave him my CD, my first CD, Timeless Melody. So that was a nice experience to be acknowledged by someone like him.
Congratulations to you. I know it's a while, but yeah, that must it's like a it's one of your accolades that you keep and something to remind that despite all this achievement, I am good enough.
Very important to know it. We need reminders all the time, like you do podcasts. I do all the time kind of reminders. I treat myself. It's a journey to love yourself, to know that you're
Yes.
worth it. This is what kept me going and to keep going, which I have a song, Keep Going. But we need all the time reminders and treat ourselves if we don't have right now the second half, the love of our life or children. So we need to give it to ourselves. We need to be the lovers, the father, the mother, the best friend, and then we can really shine and give to the world the real love and feel that we are definitely worth it.
Preach and amen. Thank you. What are you working on currently?
So I have decided in 2025 to do remixes. So there is big surprise of a cover that I'm working on. That would be the next remix. And then after my most successful song, Beauty of the Duty, would be a remix. So this is, can't wait to share it.
Wow. Brilliant. Okay. After the remixes, Tally, what is next for you? Where do you think yourself, 3 years from now?
Things that I cannot share. I'm working
Okay.
on big project, but I
Okay.
can say musically I cannot share. But I'm definitely working on a book that I like,
Mm.
so I can really share from the inside and much more that I speak on podcast, really deep stuff that I think I'm here to share. That will turn to a movie. That's something that I'm
Yay.
forward to do in my life, so I can inspire more people to live the dream and to feel happy with themselves.
Love that for you. So Tally, few more questions before I let you go today. So we're gonna pivot to a self-worth question. This is a question that I ask to each one of my guests. There is no right or wrong answer. Just in your opinion. So the question for you, self-discovery is a journey that varies for each person. What are some practical steps individuals can take to embark on this path and know more about themselves?
These days, there's so many different ways. The world is much more open than it was before. So some people
Mhm.
can go to someone like yourself, to a coach, to hypnotherapies to discover about themselves. But I have to say, YouTube is full of tools, videos that can give you those tools if you don't have the budget. I really think meditate is something very important. Some people find it boring, but meditation is very important. So again, on YouTube, you can have guided meditation. Just take 10 minutes, 15 minutes to find, and I love writing. I write every day. I haven't managed to write today. It's like, Tali, something is missing because I am the best friend of myself.
Oh.
The best friend of myself. And I'm sometimes saying all this hard time that I have losing my husband and a lot of challenges gave me to gain that that call who you are. Again, one of my releases that I have. It's who you are. So this is a journey, but you can start with small steps of, uh, but I definitely went to many different kind of therapies, from hypnotherapy to reflexology to anything that give you to stop and look inside. So it's to look inside and write down immediately, intuitively, without letting the mind.
It's a journey. The journey within is a lifelong journey. So thank you for showing us the way, Tali. What is your heart's greatest wish?
My heart greatest wish is two things. It's two things. To fulfill my full potential as a human being, which related to singing, performing, acting. So really to give that Tali Koren that you asked what it was to grow with her, to give her to flourish and to find my soulmate.
You will. If you could create a quote right now for you to lead to the audience listening and the world as your legacy, what would it be?
Turn the minus into plus to create light.
Yes. Beautiful. Wow. Okay. Tali, how can people reach out to you?
Yes, so Tali Koren is TALLYKOREN. So I'm everywhere at Tali Koren, from Instagram to TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, of course, iTunes. And I love getting messages from people. If I touched you even a little bit and you need a boost, I will answer you. Listen to my song, Calling You, that created miracles, Beauty of the Duty, that saying that the only thing that holds you back is you. Keep going. And I have another spiritual song called My River that I wrote after a yoga class that I give there, actually the recipe of what you ask. How can people reach to themselves? So it's called My River.
Wow.
I wrote it there.
Wow, 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 wow. This is a series of synchronous events. I love it. Any last message, Tali, to our listeners before we wrap this up?
I pray for each one of you to fulfill something that you hold back, something that you don't have courage to do. I pray because I believe that if you are doing what you love, you're happier person. I pray for that because that can lead to much more peace in the world, that we need it more than ever. And it's all start with each individual, each one of us. So I pray for your
Thank you.
fulfillment and for peace in the world.
Thank you. That is a wrap on today's inspiring episode with Tali Koren. Tali, thank you for the work that you do and your music to continue to uplift the world around you. And for our listeners, this has been Your Worthless. Read that again, the juxtaposition of your very soul. Now, if you've ever felt worthless, remember you are not alone. Your soul chose to be here to matter. And for that reason alone, you are worthy. A huge thank you to you again, Tali, and to all of you for listening. Until next time, I am Nierras. Keep shining, keep growing, and always remember, you are worthy and you are enough. See you in the next episode. Thank you, Tali, for your time.
So much. Thank you.
Good morning, Tali. How are you doing today?
Morning, I'm very well, still having my first coffee, so I might zig a little bit just that I can give full energy to you.
I love the energy. It's like I could feel it from the screen. Well, I am interviewing you all the way from Southeast Asia, Malaysia, and thanks to technology, we are making it happen.
Yes.
So, I'd like to say thank you to you, Kelly, for saying yes to be interviewed today. And I would like to introduce myself to you formally and to all of our listeners tuning in for the first time or returning subscribers. My name is Nicolette. I am the creator for the podcast titled You're Worthless. Read that again, the juxtaposition of your very soul. Now, today we're going to talk about chasing your dreams. Yes, I'd like to read a bit of your introduction first for our listeners before we get down into business. So, everyone, we have Tali Koren here with us. Tali arrived in London with one suitcase and a dream in the late 80s, and against all odds became an international singer songwriter. Despite family objections and countless music business rejections, what kept her going was turning every -2 plus, taking every refusal to become better, and every hard situation to do something good for herself and to others. Her turning point to fulfill childhood dreams and to become a singer happened to be at the age of 26 while she was in a very unhappy marriage. A singing teacher immediately recognized her talent and thought that her low voice reminded her of Karen Carpenter. The rest is then history. Welcome to the show, Tali. Love this episode? Now, transformation doesn't end here. Head on to at holistic.lifestyle_with_Nick. That is on my Instagram. Or head on to my website www.denierras.holisticlifestyle.com for more info on my coaching framework, which is the Worthy, Authentic, and Abundant Framework, digital guides, and my upcoming events such as retreats and master classes and workshops. Now, I also do intuitive readings where we get to check on your soul path